They are literally our bread and butter, the very source that sustains so much of our country. And with a major hit to our supply chain because of COVID-19, our nation's supply and demand is unequivocally broken when it comes to the dairy industry. Before you rush to judge the milk dumping that is happening throughout the country, listening to those who hate it more than you do, our farmers. ABC 6 News anchor Ross Becker takes us to a local farm right during peak milking time, where the man doing the milking usually says he doesn't scare easily. But right now, he's scared.
Every day, twice a day, the cows line up at milking time. Here at Dave Scheevel's farm just outside of Preston, he produces about 900 gallons of raw milk every day. He's a member of one of the largest dairy co-ops, and Dave has been dairy farming for nearly 40 years.
It's just the idea of being able to work for myself. Really enjoy working with animals. There's something about seeing a newborn calf, seeing crops growing in the springtime, summer, that, you know, Mother Nature recharging every year, and it's just something I love to do.
But now he's afraid the dairy industry is becoming the latest victim of the coronavirus. All right, Betsy, let's leave the farm for a minute and come here to McDonald's. That's right, I went through the drive-thru and I got a couple of things because I wanted to make a point. People are still buying dairy in the grocery store, but they're not going to restaurants anymore. And that's really where the problem is. For instance, the people who need milk to make this cheese for a McDonald's cheeseburger, they're not buying as much milk. Or how about the people who make the mix for this vanilla shake? There's milk in here as well, and people are not buying as much milk, the people who make this mix. That's really where the problem is for Minnesota dairy farmers. And there's one other thing, of course. Even though people are buying less milk for these products, the cows, they don't know any better. They just keep pumping it out.
We've seen a sudden drop in demand that is unprecedented. You know, we can remember 9/11 of 2001, and we thought that was something else. Are we going to war? We didn't know. We have a case now where, you know, 50% of the meals eaten by Americans are eaten outside the home. And in a matter of 2 days or a week, all of the states shut down all kinds of businesses. So the consumer went from having his and her family eating, you know, at school, at work, and restaurants and the like, to suddenly having to eat at home.
Have you seen dumping of milk in Minnesota yet, and do you think you will?
To my knowledge, we have not dumped any in Minnesota yet. We might see it, but I wouldn't want to predict that.
Dave, would that hurt your heart to see?
Absolutely. You know,
I mean, this is the stuff you produce, this beautiful milk.
That's correct. We produce this, you know, we think it's healthy for everyone. It's what we do, and go through all that work and see it go down the drain, yeah, that would be tough to take.
You don't seem like a person that scares very easily, but business-wise or financially, are you scared for the industry, for the dairy industry?
I am, because our milk price in December was $19 a hundredweight. It was about $1.68 a gallon, and it's almost trading in half right now. May is trading under $11. So yeah, the industry as a whole is going to have a hard time climbing out of this if it lasts very long.
If you had the USDA commissioner, if you had the ag department here in Minnesota, or one of our local politicians in front of you right now, and I know this isn't an easy answer, but what would you ask them for? What's the most important thing you could get as quickly as possible to help the dairy farmers here in Minnesota?
Immediately would be some influx of cash. But the other side was, what can we do to get the economy back going, to get our demand back?
So immediately, like a stimulus, like the federal government is doing.
Right. There is money earmarked for agriculture in the CARES Act, but it's up to the discretion of the Secretary of Agriculture, and he has to decide how much dairy gets, how much other livestock gets, how much farmers markets, fruits and vegetables. So there are requests from the dairy sector into him, and hopefully we can get some of that, which will help get us through this crisis.
Betsy, it's pretty clear that this is a lot more complicated than just pouring a glass of milk. This really is big business, but at the same time it's personal. These are families sometimes that are running these farms, and they need to survive. And right now they are pleading for help. The question is anybody really listening? I'm Ross Becker near Preston. Betsy, back to you.